Hello and thank you for joining me. My name is Jeff and I am an addict and alcoholic, a codependent with PTSD and bipolar disorder in recovery. And this podcast is called How It Works, and this is the third episode. And in this episode we're going to discuss what is mixed recovery and what is its purpose, what are our aims and goals, and the backstory about how the company started. So the story is this. I participate in several different recovery programs, and I can't mention the names because it's against the traditions to bring the names of these organizations into public controversy. And this is going to be a public video. So what I can tell you is that I am in recovery for alcoholism, for drug addiction, for codependency, and I participate in 6 different recovery groups, some more than others. Now, the thing with each of these recovery groups is they have their own set of traditions and principles, and as I said earlier, bringing their name into controversy is strictly against those traditions. So one of the reasons I created the company is so that I could enter into controversy with the concept of 12 recovery under my own company cloak and not affect my position with any of those organizations and not break any traditions, because I'd be speaking for myself and not for them. Now the story of my creation of this company is this. There was a day that I went to a recovery meeting for codependency, and it was on a weekend, and it was on a holiday weekend. And when I got to the place, it was a church where they frequently have these recovery meetings. It was closed for that weekend, which isn't always true. A lot of times they stay open for recovery meetings on the holidays, but in this particular case they were closed. And people showed up from 3 different fellowships. Some people were there for alcoholism, some people were there for drug addiction. And at my suggestion, we went to the back of the parking lot where there was a seating area. And I said, well, it's the same 12 steps. And so we sat down and we had a recovery meeting with codependents, drug addicts, and alcoholics all at the same time. And it was a great experience. It was a life-changing experience for me. So the message that I took from that experience was that maybe there's more than one approach to recovery, and for people who have complex traumas, who have numerous conditions, maybe one fellowship isn't enough. And the more I participated in a variety of fellowships, the more I agreed with that. But then, again, with these traditions and principles, there was difficulty, because in a fellowship for alcoholism, they kind of discourage talking about codependency and drug addiction. In the drug addiction fellowships, they're really against using the words alcoholic and sober. They want you to use their terminology. And in codependency groups, frankly, and I'm not pointing fingers because I'm very codependent myself, but codependents are a bunch of control freaks, and so you try to give people help in a codependency group, and a lot of times the people in charge kick you out. So it's unfortunate, but that's the nature of the beast. And frankly, we've got to be honest about this. People do not get into recovery on a winning streak. That's pretty common knowledge. We say that at meetings to each other. And frankly, there's a lot of sick people in recovery. We have a lot of conditions. We have a lot of issues. And people who are high functioning are generally scared off by these meetings. You sit in and you listen to people and you think, wow, I'm not as bad as those guys, and you take off. And that's a reality. One of the fellowships, the most popular fellowship, has something between a 2 and 8% success rate. For the people that are introduced to it and the people that actually embrace the process, it's only as much as 8%. And that's unfortunate, because the process absolutely works. They have promises and they guarantee results, but because these fellowships are filled with people who are still working on their issues, people easily find excuses not to participate. So the idea with mixed recovery is we want to appeal to the general public and people who are higher functioning and take some of the mysticism and some of the wording out of the recovery process, some of the scary words, and just make it more palatable and more understandable, reach a broader number of people, and explain how recovery can apply to anyone with any difficulties in your life. You don't have to have an addiction to benefit from the process of recovery. And the 12 steps are one way of wording the recovery process. And, they're not complete. Just to describe the 12 steps alone is not enough to get you anywhere. You have to know more about the inventory process and the healing process. And, each of the fellowships has their own approach to inventory because you're inventorying different conditions. Mixed Recovery has spun off of all of those. We, on our website, and if you visit our website, www.mixedrecovery.com, you can go to Recovery Services and see where we have a bunch of inventory forms that you can fill out, tests that you can take to determine, how severe your conditions are. And this is all based on non-professional, what we call peer support. So other people who have these conditions have put this knowledge together, and the process, I can't claim it. I can't say that the process is mine. It's something that I've adapted from other fellowships, and I try to use as much as their process as possible with certain enhancements that fit my needs. And it's kind of funny. There's an old expression in recovery that if you have a resentment in a coffee pot, you can start your own meeting, and that's not exactly what's happening here, because I don't have any resentments against these fellowships. I think they're all great. They all serve a great purpose. I'm just trying to reach more people, and people of higher function who don't necessarily have all the same issues as addicts and alcoholics and severe codependents, but they want to see some improvement in their lives, and they want to be able to develop better coping skills so that they can continue to grow. Okay, so if you're watching the video on this, then you're looking at this diagram that's been posted since I started talking here, and it says, what is Mixed Recovery? Mixed Recovery is a company, a community, and a process. It's a variety of approaches for dealing with life's challenges, provides support for anger, depression, anxiety, addiction, and trauma, is a mixture of 12-step recovery, philosophy, and world religion, is open to other 12-step groups, has no limiting traditions, is open to people of all belief systems, open to people of all gender identities, is open to the general public, does not try to convert, respects and works with any religion, does not require abstinence, promotes and trains for paid sponsorship, maintains non-professional status, offers concentrated recovery sessions for donations, teaches empathy and acceptance, does not diagnose or apply psychology, provides free tools and explanations for recovery. All right, so those are the some of the things that Mixed Recovery is, and let's talk about each topic. A company, a community, and a process. So there's a handful of members. We're not a large group, but the people who have joined the fellowship are experiencing benefits from it, and they stay with the program year after year after year. And some are more active than others, and some of them are paid clients. But the people who I met in a 12-step fellowship, if for drug addiction or alcoholism, I generally don't charge them because it's kind of unethical. To go into a nonprofit organization where service work is part of the fellowship and then try to turn them into a client really isn't comfortable for me at all, so I don't do that. But I do plan on advertising like I am with my YouTube channel and Spotify, and hopefully I can attract paying clients, people that are interested in this process, and it'll be a completely different monster. And frankly, between you and I, the people who pay for the service are getting a lot more out of it. They take it more seriously. When something is free, that's kind of what it's worth. And I sponsor several people, and they're grateful. However, it's not the kind of commitment that I get from the people who are paying for the service because of it being free. So I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying that's the nature of the beast. It's a kind of a conflict for me to take clients out of 12-step groups And at the same time, this process does have a lot of value. So if I don't meet somebody in a 12-step group, if I can propagate clients from the general public, then I'd like to do more of that. So a variety of approaches for dealing with life's challenges. I think we've covered that pretty well. There's more than one way to recover. There's several members with the group. They're listed on the website, and they have their own process. Some of them, for one gentleman, Paul Wheatley, super guy, his model for recovery is Christianity. He has found that works for him and is willing to share that with other people. Selena Breeze, who's with our group, who has helped me a great deal with my personal trauma issues. She uses a process called rapid transformation therapy, and it's she helped me by creating some personalized guided meditations, and that helped me reach more acceptance through her guided meditation, and I'm very grateful to her for that. And then I'm working also with a gentleman, Articus, and his lovely partner, L'Oreal. And working with Articus, we are discussing a lot of my personal inventory that I wasn't comfortable sharing with my other two sponsors. And, he's got his own process that he uses, also a guided meditation type thing where he helps people return to the past and, cope with their inner child work. So not everybody in the organization is 12-step bound. There's a lot of different ways to approach these things, but my personal model is 12-step recovery. So as it says here, we support people for anger, depression, anxiety, addiction, and trauma, and it's a mixture of approaches. And we're open to other 12-step fellowships. And what I'd like mixed recovery to be is safe for pretty much anybody. And as I mentioned, the traditions and principles of certain fellowships they prohibit you from sharing certain things. And I have been kicked out of groups. I've been shamed. I've been harassed. I had some bad experiences with online meetings. People do not want to hear a variety of philosophies if they're really attached to a single fellowship. With mixed recovery, you can bring in literature from any fellowship. You can bring it in from, several different fellowships, and I often do because I support these groups and I see value in them, and I don't want to limit anyone. I don't want to limit their recovery to just one fellowship if they have complicated issues. Let's see. We accept people of all belief systems. I personally sponsor people who are Muslim, atheist, agnostic, Buddhist, Christian, and omnist. So I'm open to all religions. I am happy to give people support. I am a self-taught omnist reverend, and I believe that whatever your belief system is, that we should respect that and stick to that instead of trying to convert you. And let's see, what's the next thing on the list here? People of all gender identities. Okay, so folks, I know this is uncomfortable for a lot of people, but believe it or not, there's more than two gender identities. And sometimes it's genetic, and sometimes it's by choice, and it's always none of your business unless they make it your business. And even then, it's really not important. I give people support. I give people support. That's what it is. All people. I don't want to discriminate against anybody's beliefs. I don't want to discriminate against anybody's gender identities. So LGBT, you are safe with me. We're open to the public. Been pretty clear about that. And we don't try to convert people. We don't require abstinence. And the main reason for this is because I understand addiction. And some people who come to us, they might be looking to deal with their codependency issues, even though they have chemical dependency issues as well, but they're not ready to deal with the chemical dependency issues. In other cases, they might be ready, but they haven't hit bottom yet. And there's no telling when someone's going to hit bottom. It's unfortunate, but we can't control when we hit bottom. It's something that just happens, and it takes what it takes. So as long as somebody's willing to work the recovery process with me, I have faith that eventually they'll quit using whatever substances are causing problems in their life. We promote and train, and we are looking for more people to join the force. I'd like to have a large group of people who are ready to help others through this recovery process. I do believe in self-promotion. I want each of the members to be able to proudly say, yes, I am a member of Mixed Recovery, and I have this system, and I also have my own tools, and you are safe to talk to me. And that's we want, just the law of attraction to take over, to people to gravitate towards the people who they feel safest with. We're going to maintain non-professional status, mainly for our protection, because we are not trained professionals in the government regulated sense. We're not going for degrees. Our training is the recovery process, and we do not apply psychology. We're not interested in diagnosis. We're not here to attempt to be a therapist. That's not our goal at all. We're just somebody safe to talk to, somebody who can relate to your stories, who will share confessions. That's mainly what we do, is share confessions. You tell me, oh, I got really too drunk, I got in trouble at work because I was using drugs, and I'll say, yeah, I did that same kind of thing myself. I'm not here to diagnose the fact that you're an alcoholic. You come in here already knowing that you're an alcoholic, right? So that's our approach. We don't want to be labeled as professionals, but we want people to understand that we're trained and serious about the work that we do. Let's see, offers concentrated recovery sessions for donations, and that's how we prefer to be paid. We're making an effort, and our time has value, and so we're asking for compensation in the form of donations. The company standard is $50 an hour, but that's just a company suggestion. It could be more, it could be less. It depends on your finances. It depends on what the person charges. Some of our people are definitely more expensive, and they're worth more because they have training beyond the mixed recovery information. So, anybody that has actual degrees, they're worth more to the general public than the people that have just gone through the recovery process. Let's see, we teach acceptance and empathy. That's an absolute. And one of the things that comes along with learning acceptance and empathy is your intuition increases. You become more self-aware, and as you become more self-aware, you have less things to think about. You don't obsess about resentments and character defects anymore. And so you're more observant, and you can find it easier to relate to other people. So that's some of the benefits of the process and of becoming a member. And let's see, does not diagnose or apply psychology, provides free tools and explanations for recovery, and that's on our website. There's a lot of data that you can choose from. You could read for a few hours just going through our literature online, and we're going to be constantly adding to that. We're going to be adding more tools, more forms, more questionnaires, and we hope to be the largest online resource for self-awareness. So, and then the final part of this thing says, mixed recovery is a new approach to recovery. The only requirement for membership is a willingness to try new things. The training process and the recovery process is one and the same, and we teach things that are not found in traditional 12-step recovery. For more information, visit our website at www.mixedrecovery.com. Again, my name is Jeff. Thank you for joining me, and I hope this has been informative for you.